Yo, 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 yo.
Here we are again, pizza bagelin'.
Pizza bagelin'.
Fuck
actually,
yeah.
Dude, I love that. That's actually dope, dude.
Yeah,
We're
dude.
just, sitting around pizza bagelin'.
Yeah, that's all. That's what are you doing today?
Yeah,
I'm gonna pizza bagel.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
we're pizza bagelin'.
Not pizza bagel?
Sorry, I can't hang out later. I'm pizza bagelin'.
Bageling. Yeah, so lame. It's so sad for other people that they can't pizza bagel, but I mean, you can. If you want a pizza bagel, you can join us.
Yeah. Sometimes we have people pizza bagelin' with us.
That's true. In
We've had
fact,
a few
last
guests.
week we had someone pizza bagel along.
Yeah, we did.
We did.
Had old
baby boo,
baby boo
baby
beavers.
boo boo bear beavers. That was wild.
Yeah, that is wild.
Yeah.
He, so I don't know if you guys have listened to that last episode.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He goes on a rant of a lot of crazy stories. We kind of just let him lead the show, and we just fucking played off of it.
True.
Which is great, because, like, he's got stories of things I've never heard other people even talk about.
Right.
But that last story when he was talking about, what was the kid's name?
Skywalker.
Skywalker.
Who went by Sky, yeah.
Yeah, and that whole thing with
that he fucking loogied on this kid that then murdered his mom like immediately afterwards. Yeah.
So this kid that he went to school with, murdered his mom, and I looked it up today, and I sent it over to the Bagel because I had to see if this was a true story, and in fact, it actually is.
Yeah, I read the Bagel loves to read, and that story was fucking long as shit, and exactly what he said. I mean, shockingly accurate.
Yeah. It's a wild thing. So yeah, I mean, if you guys, when you listen to that last episode featuring old Boo Beavers, take a look, read the article. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, easy to figure out. I mean, he gave enough clues about where it all happened.
Mm-hmm.
We invited him on for like poop jokes.
Yeah.
And got into this fucking really which is fine, but I mean, we got into this really heavy and dark story.
Right at the end.
Right at the end, yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. He led us through a lot of poop stories.
Oh my god! I mean, the whole beginning of it was a mega poop story. It was about like the giantest pile of poop.
Poop Fest. That's what you call it. Yeah, Poop Fest.
Yeah, it was Poop Fest at Kent State, I think. Like that's what it was. And then he was
field
like,
trips.
Yeah. And then he was like, you know what else happened at Kent State? I spit on this autistic person who then murdered his mom immediately. We're like, holy fuck.
Well,
like,
hold on. But I mean, to be fair, though, the kid was like beating on him first, and he had enough of it.
All right.
We don't want to make Boo out to be a bully because that sounds really bad.
I apologize. That was premature. I apologize. You're absolutely right.
I'm not saying that it was okay to loogie on him, but I guess instead of hitting a autistic kid back, and
the autistic kid was asking for it.
Yeah. Did you see what he was wearing?
Exactly. Yeah. If you're gonna wear a fucking helmet, then you're gonna get loogied on. Genius. Yeah, we had a lot of gems from last week, but man, it did get real heavy, real fast. And we had a heavy episode previous to that with the We Caught a Predator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So man, we're not trying to be like true crime.
No,
that's not what this podcast is.
No,
this is dick and fart jokes with the
it's
occasional
like true farts, true dicks,
true grime.
True grime.
Yeah, we're trying to be disgusting and hilarious. So we need to get off of the super serious type of rants that we've been on. So what do you got? Is there anything you want to? How was your week? Is there anything you want to talk about? Tell me what's going on.
Let's see. I mean, I guess this past week. I mean, this was trick or treating. It was Halloween.
Yeah. How was that?
It was fun. I mean, as I'd mentioned, I think before in our Halloween episode, prior to, I mentioned, how we do everything, like passing out the candy for the kids, and then we have a bucket for like the adults. It's got like the little booze nips and whatnot in there.
Airplane bottles.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
We got like a pretty decent amount of kids, some really cool costumes. Kind of bummed I didn't take any pictures because some of them were really fucking cool, but I also felt weird taking pictures of other people's children.
I was just gonna say that, so thank you. You're like, hey, that's a nice costume, Timmy. Step in here and I'm gonna take your picture. Like,
take your clothes off.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just gonna borrow him for 3 minutes and I'll have him right back to you. No.
2.5.
Not a big deal. We're just gonna take some pictures.
Some very tasteful, arty.
And Jess is like, can I introduce you adults in some alcohol while while the pizza takes pictures of your 7-year-old? And they're like, yeah, fucking Fireball's awesome.
But overall, we had it was a good crowd. It was weird though. We did have someone come across. There was a poor girl. I don't know. She had to be
poor, sad, or poor like
sad. Yeah. No, like sad.
All right.
I don't know, maybe 11, 12. And she's running down, down the street, bouncing back and forth to each house. But she didn't have a costume on. Okay. And she was using a Mark's bag for her bag. And we thought it was weird, but there was a car that was slowly driving behind her.
This sounds like she was running for her life, by the way.
Right. Until you put everything in perspective, and then it's the kid's out trick-or-treating by herself while the mother is sitting in the car just driving up and down the streets behind, along with the kid.
Sure.
Instead of walking around with your child. And
sure.
It was cold. You know, it sucked. But the kid didn't even have a fucking costume on.
Or that was her potential abductor, and she was running around from house to house hey, can somebody help me, please? I'm 11 and being chased by a pervert.
Well, you know what?
And they're nice costume, dickhole. Go on to the next house. No candy for you.
What are you supposed to be? Child predator?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. Oh, a victim? What a cool costume. And they just turn off the front porch light. I don't fucking think so. Get your Milky Way somewhere else.
Yeah.
You cheater.
But besides that, I don't know, dope Halloween overall.
Good. We had our normal, I think we did talk about this. I live in Avon Lake, and nobody. We live on a street with a bunch of kids, but nobody ever comes trick or treating.
Yeah, I was gonna
ask. Jen, of course, puts out 2 bags of candy in a bowl, and I saw 2 kids walk by. They weren't really wearing costumes. They were wearing I don't know. They looked like they were sort of participating. I just only noticed it because they walked by my office window wearing light up shoes, but they didn't go up our driveway. But then an hour later, in Avon Lake, trick or treating was from 6 to 7:30. They got an hour and a half.
And 6 to 8.
Yeah. And when Jen went out to get us our candy, the bowl was empty. So she was like, do you think some kid just came up and took all of the candy? And I was like, I don't really give a fuck.
It was probably 7:30, and they're like, no one else is going to come through here. I'm taking the whole thing.
I don't give a shit if it was 6:01. Fucking have all the candy. Ring the doorbell. That would have been better. And then I'll know the bowl's empty. We can turn the light off and get back to our fucking grown-up lives.
Can we talk about how shitty it is that Halloween's only 2 hours?
It is shitty.
When we were kids, Halloween didn't even start until it was getting dark.
Yeah. Yeah. Now it's 6 to 7 and it's fucking light out. It's fucking so boring.
Yeah. I mean, we would go until literally there was no more houses with lights on.
Exactly. But sign of the times, I suppose.
And that's Halloween.
Yeah. Sad it's over already.
I know. It happened quick.
It does.
Time flies when you're winning costume contests. Am I right?
I wouldn't know, but you would. You would know multiple times, little Nicky. That was a dope costume, by the way.
Thank you.
It was. And you, how do I say this in a non-homosexual way about how well you did with your mouth?
Oh, in the photos?
The little Nicky mouth is not, I don't think, an easy thing to do. Never mind the voice you do, which is great, but just holding your mouth the way that Sandler did for little Nicky, impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so good for you.
This takes a lot of practice.
I believe that.
Let the chicken slide down your throat.
Down your throat hole. Yeah, exactly. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, good for you. Let's have a shot.
Let's have a shot, and let's get back to the roots, and let's talk about dicks and farts. And
hell yeah.
I don't know, man. You got any pranks or I don't know, crazy stories? Let's make a little wild card episode. Let's do that. Let's just fucking wing it.
I love it. Let's do this shot, and then let's go fucking wild card.
Wild card, bitches. Okay. Yum, yum. Let's go.
All right. I mean, for pranks, I wasn't a big prankster because, sadly, I didn't have a ton of friends, when I was starting off in high school, kind of coming out of my shell after moving to Bay Village from Greenwich Village, Manhattan. So it took a while for me. But I do remember when I was about maybe 14 years old, nerdiest prank ever, and I'll pare it down so that it's quick. Do you remember old school Apple or Macintosh computers?
Like the big colored ones?
Yeah, well, even before
that, yeah. Yeah, because, those, wait, how far back are we talking? Like green screen ones? So
no.
The mouse had one button?
No, after that. But I mean, not crazy after that. But yeah, kind of along that line. So when you used to start up one of those computers from when it was dead and you would power it on, it would put a picture of a floppy disk in the center of the screen, and then it would put a little smiley face on it, which I think is still the Mac logo. Is like a smiley face on a square, which people probably don't remember used to be a floppy disk. And when you would start up your computer, it would put up that floppy disk and then would put a smiley face to say, I'm recognizing that there's something for me to read from, like a hard drive.
Okay.
So my mom, we had moved up from New York when I was 12. This is probably when I was like 14. She was working from home, doing desktop publishing. Her entire life was on her computer. So being the 13, 14-year-old nerd that I was, I wrote a little program for Mom just to prank her. And what it did was when she started up her computer, it went through all the regular setup, and then it put up an error message that says, I can't access your hard drive. And all you could do is click the OK button. And when you did, it put up a bar graph on the screen and it said deleting all files. Okay. And then it just filled up. And I wrote it so it would read every single file on the computer by name and it would flash them like fast as shit. So she's watching on the monitor as every file on her computer is being deleted. Now, I knew this was happening. I set it up. I asked her to get on her computer. And if we were like around the time now where I could record it, I would have been recording it on my phone. But this was in, 1994.
Right.
So I'm watching my mom lose her fucking mind. I had never heard her curse in my entire life at this point. And she is literally screaming at the computer and pulling on her hair. She's like, no, fuck, no. There's no fucking, no, fuck. And literally pulling on her hair. And I'm like stifling laughing behind her. And as soon as it finishes running through that process, it makes the sound like the computer restarts. It puts up the little floppy disk in the center of the screen, and then it puts up a flashing question mark, which means you started the computer, but there's no hard drive. There's nothing to read from.
Yeah.
So she thinks every file on the computer is deleted.
Oh, my God.
Her entire business is gone. There's no cloud. There's no backup.
Yeah, we didn't have that back then.
There's none of everything was on that computer. And she is like, finally just so sad. She puts her head down, like on her arms on the keyboard, and she's crying. And I'm like, mom. And she's like, oh my God, fuck, oh my God. And I'm like, why don't you try clicking the flashing question mark? And she's like, that's not gonna fucking do anything. And I'm like, just try it. And she clicks it, and it opens up this screen, and it says, it was April Fool's.
It says, gotcha, bitch.
And it says, happy April Fool's, love your son. And her whole computer is there and available.
Did she beat you afterwards?
No, she stared at it for like 30 seconds straight. She didn't look away at all. And she knows I'm 7 feet behind her. And after 30 seconds, she was like, go to your room. And I was like, okay, like that's a solid plan. Yeah. So I go to my room and I hear her. She runs upstairs and she's talking to my sister who's 2 years older than me. And as she's going up the stairs, I hear her yelling for Ann. And she's like, Ann. And Ann comes out. She's like, what? And my mom and her, I'm sure, were like embracing. And I hear my mom go, you've always been my favorite child. She's like, you've always been my favorite. I love you so much more than I love David.
Was this an April Fool's for her?
No, she was straight up saying, I have always loved you more than I've loved him. And I was like, that's totally fair. So I'm sticking around in my room, like, I'm going to wait this out until mom can come down and be like, ha ha. So she comes downstairs, and I think she's coming to the bedroom to, like, have a conversation with me about how I'm a dick, but it was a funny joke. And I hear her come down the stairs, and then she walks in an opposite direction, and she's going into the kitchen. And as soon as I hear her come down the stairs and then walk not towards my room, it hits me, and I go, oh, fuck. And I go barreling out of my bedroom, and I go, Mom, no. Because she's walking over to the sink, like I'm sure to splash water on her face. And I had rubber banded the spray nozzle on the sink for whoever was going to hit it on April Fool's Day. So my mom was like so sad and dejected and had been crying for like half an hour. And she just needs a moment to herself to splash some water on her face. And I'm like, no. And she hits the water on, and it just starts spraying like right in the middle of the sweater that she's wearing.
Yeah.
And
classic prank.
You would think she would like slap the fucking thing to stop the water. She just let it run. It was just spraying on her for like 30 seconds. And
so
I'm like,
defeated.
Yeah. And I'm standing behind her, and I'm like, 30 seconds later, there's water pouring all over the floor. And I'm like, Mom? And she's like, go back to your fucking room. I'm like, okay. Go back to my room, locked my door, and I'm like, oh my, I might have broken her. I asked her about that prank like 3 years ago while I was with Jen when somehow pranks came up. And I was like, hey, do you remember this? And she was like, I have no recollection of that. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? That was really, really hardcore prank. And she's like, I literally do not have any idea what you're She blocked it out of her fucking memory, dude. Like, that is what happens when you get a prank from me. And that's why I don't prank people, because I go fucking ham.
Too far.
What about you? You got a good one?
I mean, besides the classic, like, pull your balls out, to your friends.
Oh yeah. Oh, man. I mean, is that a prank?
I mean, I guess that one's not like I
hey,
do.
Have you seen my new pink watch? Or who threw gum on my pants? And you're just holding your balls out.
Well, we would do that like back when I was like really young, and like we were like mowing lawns, and there was like two of us like in the front of the truck, and like the back of the truck had like the back seat,
Sure.
And there was a day that you remember like the Scene magazines? I don't even know if those are still around, or the newspapers or whatever, like the free ones that are like on the street.
Oh, sure.
The Scene papers. I don't know what you want to call them.
Yeah.
But the dude I was working with was in the back seat, and he's like looking through it, and I hear him go, "Oh my gosh, did you guys see that this band's coming?" And the person driving like peeks back, and he had
got his dick out on top of the
he ripped a hole out of the paper and pulled his ball sack out and had it through the paper. And then we get back to our shop, and it's like the end of the day, and we have to we would park like our trailer inside of a garage. And it would take two of us because like the door was all fucked up. Yeah. So like me and the dude in the back seat, we started like lifting it up, and he goes, "Do you have a really funny idea?" He's like, "Go tell the dude that was driving that we can't get the door open. We need a third person." He's like, "I'm going to jump up on the rafters of this garage," but he had his pants all the way down doing the goat. Nice. So I fucking went out there, and I was like, "Hey, dude," I was like, "Come here." I was like, "We need your help." He's like, "Oh, God damn it." He's like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "How many fucking dummies does it take to open up a goddamn garage door?"
Of course.
And I'm like, "We just need your help. Relax. God." And then so as soon as I go in through like the man door, and I fucking dip around, and he walks in, and there's Chris hanging from the rafters, pants around the ankles, doing a full fucking goat, dude. And he's like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Amazing.
Dude, it was so funny. He was so mad.
Can they do those pranks anymore, do you think? Or are you going to be a fucking sexual predator?
Well, I guess it depends on the age. I can ask my little brother, because he's
to try it out. Hey, show someone your balls and see if you get arrested.
Yeah. You're legal age now.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna ask him to see if they do that stuff, because he's 19. Oh wait, he's just fuck. I think he just turned 20. I don't know. He's somewhere in there. He's a young dude.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna ask him to see if they do like ball pranks or anything like that to each other. If that's just
I don't mean like
times.
Is that still a thing to do ball pranks? I mean,
that's what I thought you were asking.
No. I mean like, are you gonna go to fucking prison for doing like, even if you're 13 years old and you're like, who threw gum on my pants, and you pull out some of your balls?
Like when we were 13?
Yeah, like we did all the time when we were 13. If some kid's like, ugh, and then they go home and they're like, the bagel showed me part of his ball sack, and they're going to be like, I'm calling his parents and the cops. And they're going to be like, you have scarred my child forever with your hairy ball sack.
If you're lucky,
because I had hair on my balls when I was 13. Fuck you.
Yeah, if you're lucky, the parents are cops.
That's it.
You get it done. You get it done in
like,
one.
come downstairs and show us those balls. Yeah. Let's all have a look.
You get in trouble for showing your ball sack, for fingering, the
Knock
cops
it all out at once.
Parents are cops. It's all, you get it all done in one trip.
Oh my God, it's so uncomfortable.
But there is something, and I haven't checked. I don't know if I imagine it still has to exist, because especially technology. But there used to be something called IP relay, and I don't know if you ever heard of this or familiar with it.
sounds familiar, but like as a computer thing.
Right. So this was like early 2000s. I'm talking like
01.
like 4 or 5, somewhere in there. But it was basically a website you would go to, and when you would say, like, it would bring up, like, you go to this website, it would bring up like a box, and you would type in like hello, and there would be an operator basically message you back, like through like AIM, basically. Their job is it's basically for deaf people to message an operator, and then they will call who you want to call, and then they have to say what you say. So most people that are deaf, they would go, I need you to call the Bagel, right? And then they'd call, and then they say, hey, I'm IP relay operator. Your friend the pizza is calling right now. He wanted me to tell you that if you're running by the store, like, pick up some milk, or like, don't forget to pick up the dry cleaning, right?
That's what normal human adults would say. Yeah.
But when you're like 18, 19,
or
whatever, we would message in and be like, and we'd pop a number in to like one of our friends, but they had no idea. They're unsuspecting. And they'd be like, we'd be like, hey, your friend Bob is reaching out, and he said to, and whatever you typed in, they had to fucking say it, because like
they have to read it.
They have to read it, especially in those times. Now it's probably a different time. They could be like, sir, I don't think that's appropriate. I'm not going to say that. But back then, that was their job. You had to fucking say. So when we type in, be like, hey, Bob, if you're at the store, can you stop at the movie store next to it, the Blockbuster? I need you to pick up Big Black Butts 13 and Asian Gushers Part 6.
Which is not candy, but go on.
Right. And then, like, don't forget to also pick up, a thing of eggs.
Magnum condoms.
Yeah. And a thing of eggs. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, like, they would have to fucking say that. And then, like, the best part is that everything that they say, they are typing back to you as a response. So if they're like, what the fuck? Like, who the fuck is this? Like, who's asking? And then they, like, I'd see that and I'd be like, well, tell them it's the pizza. Right. And then they'd be like, well, I don't know who that is, because you're making fake names because it's a prank call.
Of course.
Right. And they'd be like, I don't know who this person is. I'm like, I don't know. I've never even seen the first 5 Asian Gushers, let alone picking up the 6th one.
Oh, that kind of ruins. I was going to say, like, do you have to see Big Black Butts 12 to know what's going on in Big Black Butts 13? Like, is there a storyline?
No, Big Black Butts 12 was one of those.
How did this Big Black Butt get started?
Yeah. The Big Black Butts 12, that one is like a throw off, The real story leaves off at 11. It really picks back up on 13. So you could skip 12 if you want to.
Saw. Like, if you didn't see 7, you can move right into 8.
Right.
And kind of have the idea.
Exactly.
That makes good sense.
But that was something we would do all the time with different things.
Dude, I mean, it wasn't even. I mean, how long ago was that? That was, you said, I was early like, 2000s?
Yeah. And like, it was free too, so.
Yeah, for me, it was later than that. So I was probably like 27. So yeah, around that time, like late 2000s, early 2010, somewhere around then. Me and my old roommate Anthony, we had this really good friend of ours, Danny, and Danny was blind. I mean, I'm sure he still is. He's been blind since
he's not anymore. He was blind, but not anymore.
Yeah, we fixed him with our horrible jokes. No, but he was blind, and you know what? Fucking props to Danny Light. He was also a wrestling coach as a blind guy, and a fucking beast as a wrestler. Yeah.
Wait. So wait, he's just able to hear how the throws are being.
Yeah,
how these kids are getting tossed around.
This is a totally separate story, but if anybody who's local remembers Red Bear, who used to be a fucking local legend in Lakewood at like Iggy's and the Village, like on that Madison side, Red Bear was a tough fucking Indian dude, and he tried to mix it up with Danny Light one time, and Danny Light like beat the shit out of him in a front yard fight as a blind dude. But
so wait, Danny Light is the blind guy?
Danny Light, yeah, that Light was his last name. It wasn't a joke about how he can't see. That did take me a couple of times to figure out, but yes, his name was Danny Light. But anyway, so he had the same thing, so he's a blind guy. So when he gets a text message, his phone would read it to him in like super robot voice. And as soon as I found that out, he was like, hold on, I'm getting a text. And he would push a button and it's like, hey, Danny, blah, blah, blah. Like, Stephen Hawking reading it to him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this is not good for me. Like, I'm going to take advantage of this. So I would start spoofing my phone number and sending him text messages. And we'd be sitting outside the bar having a smoke. And he's like, hold on, I'm getting a text message. And it'd be like, hi, my name's Danny. I like robot penis in my robot anus. And he's like, who the fuck is such an imbecile that they're sending? And I'm like, dude, I don't know. What's the phone number? Play it again. And he would play it, and it would be like 138526 robot penis. So I'm a 5-year-old, but that's me.
That was last week.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was 41 then. I'm 42 now.
Oh, that was classic.
So fun, fucking immature shit.
Yeah, the funny thing is, especially with guys, right? We get older, but we never grow up.
Not at all.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we're always gonna enjoy the childish things that we did as a child.
Yeah.
And still find it funny.
Exactly.
I mean, look, we're fucking talking about dicks and farts as a grown up. Like that shit was hilarious. You just say the word butthole and like I'll laugh.
Yeah, it's fucking funny. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess I saw something that somebody posted today, like, because I have a lot of really intelligent friends, and it said, is butt cheeks one word, or do you have to spread them apart? Right? It's fucking hilarious, right? Like, if I was 4 years old, I would laugh at the word butt cheeks, and now I'm 42, still fucking hilarious.
And actually get the joke.
Yeah, super hilarious. I love it.
Yeah. Listen, I'm always going to be a fucking immature child at heart.
Yeah. I said something to Jen the other day about, can't remember what the sentence was, but I said something, blah, 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 don't do. And she was like, don't tell me about don't do. Tell me about do. And I was like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I'm not going to laugh at the word that you just said doo-doo.
Oh, my God.
I'm like, I'm only 42. I'm going to fucking laugh.
I do this every time.
Every time.
And it doesn't matter where I'm at a restaurant, at the bar, in the library, at work.
Where the fuck are you in the library?
I'm not in the library, but I'm just trying to think of just random ass places. But even like at work, people do say that. They're like, yeah, if you do this, and I'm like, and out loud I go, you said do.
Exactly.
And especially if they're on the phone.
What I do. Exactly what I do. I stop them immediately.
Yeah, and especially if like they're on like the phone with like a customer or something, they're like, and we're like, you said do, and then they're trying to hold it in like the laugh, and they're like, you motherfucker, like.
The best is with Jen, when she'll say something like that and she'll look at me and I'm like wide-eyed with a big smile on my face, like holding it, like when a dog is looking at a biscuit and they're just like, fuck yeah, I know I'm getting that biscuit. I'm looking at her and I'm like, and she's like, go ahead. And I'm like, fuck yeah, you said do. And she's like, God damn it. I can't believe I'm fucking married to you. But yeah, listen, if they say, if what they say is true, that laughter is the best medicine, I'm going to live forever.
Oh, absolutely.
I laugh all fucking day.
I mean, how can you not?
That's what I'm saying. It'd be so sad if you don't, so laugh it up.
Speaking of this laughter, I had, I feel like it's been a while that I've had like a big, huge, hearty laugh.
Really?
Out of like, no. I mean, like out of someone telling me something, like randomly, like,
sure.
like hanging out, right? I ran into an old friend. I think it was like over the weekend or something. I haven't seen him in probably close to, I don't know, 15 to 17 years. Randomly ran into him, and we were like catching up and bullshitting, and we were like, it was like a bunch of us kind of hanging out bullshitting, and I remember taking him out for his 21st birthday.
Okay.
Back when it was like when the Funhouse used to be the Spitfire, and I got him super fucking hammered, and I told him, and I was like, do you remember like how much that night do you remember? And he's like, I remember getting the flaming mustache sticker, which the only way to get one of those is if you did the flaming mustache shot, which was a shot glass that sat up on a shelf covered by a paper towel for God knows how long, but it's like mix of all these different bottoms of the booze, whatever.
Oh, sure.
And then they light it on fire, you take the shot, you get a sticker. Hammered drunk that night. And I remember we were outside for a smoke, and there was like this like big crazy lady outside walking by, just fucking trying to schmooze on him. I'm like, yeah, it's his fucking 21st birthday. And he was like ready to go. And I'm like, I'm not going to let you do that. This is a fucking random lady down the street. So we were talking about that, and his buddy's like, yeah, things don't change, like that's his thing. I mean, listen, if you got a big girl kink, good for you.
Yeah, whatever.
So he's like, dude, I started talking to this chick, and he's like, I haven't had like a girlfriend in a while. He's like, I wanted to like just like be like boyfriend girlfriend. Sure. Like I'm tired of like hookups.
Yeah.
And he's like, so I'm like trying to text with her. I'm like, we were trying to make plans to hang out. I'm like, he's like, I want to like take her to like a museum or like walk around the park and like buy her flowers and be like a really awesome boyfriend.
Right.
And I go, okay. And then he's like, all she wanted to do is just kept asking me to like come over and face fuck her. And I started laughing. I'm like,
this is the greatest relationship of all time.
Yeah. I go, okay.
Marry her.
I go, great. So you guys can go out on like a date, and then you go back, and then you face fuck her, and then you keep going. And he's like, no. He's like, I just want to fucking like do like a real date.
Oh my God.
He's like, I don't want to do like these like random hookups. He's like, I want to go do date stuff.
Like you're at the Cleveland Botanical Gardens, and you're like, wow, those orchids look amazing, huh, honey? And she's like, I just want to get face fucked in the parking lot. And you're like,
okay,
fuck these flowers. Like, let's go to the parking lot and fuck your face real fast.
Right, and we'll come back. We got all day pass.
Or not. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Sure.
But so, and I asked him, I go, okay. So I'm like, and he's like, so he was like a little worked up over it. And I go, okay. I was like, all right. So, then what? I'm like, so did you like convince her to like go out? And he's like, oh. He's like, I tried asking to go and do this. And she's like, all right, I guess we can. And she's like, but I really want you to come over and face fuck me. And I go, okay, and then what? And I go, did you do it? He goes, no. He's like, that's too aggressive.
Oh my God.
And when just the words of saying, that's too aggressive, had me fucking in tears, man.
I'm so disappointed in this person. I'm like, yeah, just grab her ears and fucking have an amazing 3.5 minutes and then go see a fucking foreign film or whatever. And while you're doing it, she'll probably blow you in the movie theater. Sounds awesome.
I just love that he's like, no, it's too aggressive.
Oh my God. Well, so sort of along the same lines, I remember I was when I lived in Florida for a little while after I had soon moved there. I went on, I can't even remember like what type of site it was, but it was like some online dating type of thing. But this is way back when, way before like Tinder and all that type of shit. So this is like in 2000 and probably 4. So I don't even know where I met this person, but online somewhere. And she lived in Jupiter, Florida. I lived in West Palm. It was like half an hour away. We ended up meeting up. We went out and we met at a pool hall. Here's how old this fucking story is. We met at a pool hall, and I got there exactly on time because, as you know, I enjoy being prompt.
That's what I love about you.
Fucking A. She was late because, that's probably a way to look not desperate. So she showed up like 15, 20 minutes late. I had ordered a pitcher of beer. It's a pool hall. They don't have like a full bar. So I'm drinking beer. And I go and she shows up, we talk, her name was Sarah, I grab another glass, I pour her a beer, and she's like, hey, we should get some more beer. And I'm like, cool, that first picture was on me, you should go. And she's like, oh, I don't have my ID. And I'm like, oh, are you not old enough? And she's like, no, I'm not. She was 19. Let me settle that.
Okay, I was like, quick. Well.
Okay. Before Chris Hansen comes out with an oatmeal raisin cookie. She was 19, and I was like 22. Exactly.
Throwback.
Yeah. So awesome. So she was of age to fuck, but not old enough for beer. So funny. But yeah, so afterwards, I mean, we hung out that night. We had fun. We went out like 2 more times. And then when it got to like the third date, because I was trying to be a gentleman, I come from a gentlemanly place. I'm not trying to face fuck people on the first date. I'm not that guy.
I think that's typical.
Yeah. So, and again, this was way back when we're talking about 20 years ago. So when we get to that point where it's time for the boudoir, her kink was she just liked getting jizzed on. She just was like, yeah, come on my tits or come on my face or come on my back or come on my ass. And I'm like, dude, that's a lot of cum. Like I can't make that many cums. Yeah, I definitely will do each of those eventually. I can't do all of them this evening, but blah blah blah. But it got to the point where like that was her thing. Like we'd be out and she'd be like, I can't wait until you come on my face later.
Which is like, super hot to hear.
It is. Now, and super weird.
Well, listen.
I mean, awesome, though.
Yeah, but here's the deal. Is it, and don't get me wrong, I'm sure there are probably plenty of, like, dudes and girls that, like, they love cum, want to be cummed on. It's a thing for them, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
But also, I think it sounds like she also may just be a pleaser.
Sure.
And she's like, I really like you, and I always want to make you happy.
Yeah.
So, like, if you want to dump your cum on any part of my body, let's fucking go.
In any part on, she was down for whatever. So it kept on raising the stakes. She'd be like, yeah, come in. I mean, we weren't even, like, doing ass stuff, and she was like, yeah, fucking put it in my ass and come in my ass. I'm like, dude, so aggressive. And you're young as I mean, I was 22, she was 19. It's not like there was a big age difference, but I'm just like, this is a lot for me at 22. Like, I'm kind of, sexually reserved 20 years ago. But then I'm, you have to push the limits. Like, I can't be the guy who is having the 19-year-old female aggressor. It makes me feel like a pussy. So I have to be the one who's like, yeah, you know what you're going to get now. So I woke up one morning. We were sleeping at my place, and she was just snoozing there. So I just jerked off on her face while she was sleeping, and she was so pissed. When I blew, she was so fucking pissed. I was just like she fucking blew a load in her face, and she's like, "What the fuck is your problem?" And I'm like, "You've been asking for cum every time I've seen you, and now I surprised you with cum, and you're gonna be a bitch about it." Like, I was so annoyed. Fucking Sarah.
Surprise! Yeah. I mean, the poor girl's sleeping.
Oh, what the fuck? Listen, she's been asking for cum in, on, around herself, anywhere. Oh, I can't wait till you come on me. We should go in the corner of this museum and you should come on me. And I'm like, listen, how am I going to raise the stakes? Oh, she's like, and I'm like, oh, man.
This is going to raise the stakes.
Here we go, baby.
Yeah.
Wait till you wake up to a fucking load on your face. Like, you're going to be like, oh, my God, I'm going to marry this guy. And she was like grabbing her clothes like, fuck you. And I'm like, oh, my God. And like, what is your argument at that point? Oh, I've been asking him to come on me for the last fucking 4 months. And then I woke up in the morning while he came on me. And I was so pissed that I left and broke up.
It's a make or break situation.
I don't know. I went for it.
It's a 50-50 shot. You either, like, when you do it, it's like, it's going to go either way.
So I took my shot.
She's going to be like, oh, yeah, you definitely took your shot.
Yeah. And I was 22, man. There was a lot of cum. So it was awesome. Oh, Sarah, you whore.
And she got up and fucked off, huh?
She sure did. She came back a bunch of times and was like stalker as fuck. Came back a bunch of times. She left flowers on my car at one point with no note, and I knew it was from her. She called me at one point. I hadn't seen her for months, and she called me. She texted me, and she was like, I'm at Walmart. Do you need anything? And Walmart was like 3 minutes from my house. And this girl at this point was insano. Like,
did you have plans to hang out?
Not at all.
Oh, boy.
And so I was living in West Palm. I locked my front door. I closed all my blinds, and I left the sliding glass door open and unlocked anyway. And so she knocked on the front door, rang the doorbell, tried the doorknob, walked around to the side of the house, slid open the sliding glass door, which I had left unlocked. All the blinds closed. She pulls the blinds, and I was standing there with my gun. And I was like, get the fuck out of my house. And she was like, you're fucking crazy, and ran away. And I was like, this is bananas to me. Like, I'm crazy. You were just shopping at a store uninvited after not seeing you for 3 months, asking if you can bring me anything. After you're mad at me that I jizzed on you after you asked for jizz every day for 4 months. I'm like, this girl's fucking bananas. And then I moved.
Well, you have to. That's a
20-year-old Sarah.
Do you think that the gun was a little aggressive?
No. Do you?
Kind of.
I don't know. What was I supposed to do?
Don't leave the back door open for her to walk in and see you holding a gun?
Oh, just leave all the lights off and pretend I don't live there?
You could just make it seem like you're not home.
Like a... Finish that sentence. Like a what? What would you call that person who turns the lights off and pretends they're not home so that their 19-year-old jizz fanatic doesn't enter their home?
You could have also...
Homo. Yeah. Yeah. Damn shit.
Bad word bell.
Fuck.
We got a bell, guys, so you know. This is the bad word bell. There's bad words that happen in here.
This is. And we're going to talk about bad words in a minute.
So, no. What I mean was, like, why don't you just fucking close the house down and then actually leave? You got at least a few minutes head start.
She knows where I live. This was...
But if you left in the car...
It's like I was going to shoot her.
Why, no.
It's just so that she knows that my crazy is going to trump her crazy. That was it.
Okay, so it's one of those what do you call it? Like a boss ass move. What's the word here? Like trying to get a. God damn,
I don't know. I
just
had to have the upper hand. I had to have leverage. Like she was. Listen, leaving flowers on my car 6 weeks after we stopped dating, crazy town. I'm telling you, man. I don't know what it is. I'm such an asshole. I'm an asshole. I'm back then misogynist, fucking selfish lover, like asshole to women, and they fucking were lapping it up back then. Mid 2000s, I was killing it with bras, and they were like, "He's a fucking piece of shit. I'm gonna go over there and blow him so good." And I'm like, "What the fuck is wrong with you people?"
Yeah,
so weird.
I mean, you did mention back during on the last episode, like during those times that you were
I was huge
a
piece
shitbag.
of shit. Yeah.
So, all right, this kind of reminds me of something. This is something I like to call the old loop, swoop, and pull.
Oh, I like that. Where does that actually come? Isn't that like a crochet term? It's for your tying your shoes.
Yeah. So I took the term that term specifically comes from like the movie Big Daddy.
Big Daddy, right?
Right. That's
loop,
when he's
swoop and pull. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Loop, swoop, and pull.
Yep.
And so I adopted.
We wasted the good surprise on you. Yeah. We have so many good quotes from that, but go
on. So I adopted that phrase and coined it into this because me and other friends have been stuck in this situation. It's basically when you have a one-night stand, you meet somebody at the bar, right? They come back to your house, and you guys hook up. And then when you wake up in the morning, and you're like, fuck, they're still here. And you're like, I kind of want to like stretch out, or like I'm awake now and they're still sleeping. And I would just like to put on some like PJs and fucking go eat some food and go down and like watch a movie. This is what I would do to get out of that situation. So I would get up, I get dressed in my clothes, and I'd wake them up. I don't give a shit if I was awake or, you know, 8:30 in the morning, 7:30, 9:30, whatever. Or it's usually early in the morning. And I'd go, hey. And they're like, what? I'm like, I have to go meet with my dad. We are going to get breakfast, and then I have to do things. So you have to go. And then she'd be like, are you fucking serious? What time is it? And I go, 7:30. Ugh. Yeah. I know it's early, but if we went to your house, I would have just left.
Yeah, I'd have been gone for 2 hours ago. Yeah.
But you're in my house, so you got to go. And they're like, oh, my God, this is ridiculous. And I'm like, I know. Listen, my dad, you know, he just likes to get early breakfast. I'm sorry.
Sure.
And then they would get dressed and make sure she gathered all of her things. Nothing left behind. Fucking hair ties, hairpins.
Is this yours? Nope.
Yeah.
Well, take it with you.
Yeah, it's fine. Take it with you or throw it away on the way out. Yeah. And then we'd go outside, and it's like, hey, I had fun last night. There's that hug, maybe one last smooch. She gets in her car. I get in my car. We pull out of the driveway. She leaves. I drive around the block and then come back into my house.
Oh, that's
put the PJs on, and then I fucking like cook up some sort of snack or breakfast, and I sit down and watch like It or Bad News Bears or you know whatever, something along those lines. But I'm like, done.
Right.
Done.
So all right? Let's break it down. What's the loop? Is the loop sending them out, and then the swoop is driving around the house? And then you're pulling yourself into PJs?
Perfect.
That sounds pretty solid.
Yeah. I think that's it.
Hell yeah.
So, listen, any of you listeners that have pulled this move where you had somebody else in your house the next morning after a one-night stand, and you're like, fuck, how'd I get them out?
I would be genuinely shocked if we have one listener who has never had that happen before.
I would be as well.
Regardless of if you've done it at somebody else's house or somebody has done it to you.
Oh, yeah.
Had to have happened before.
Also, yeah, recognize that, guys. If you're a one-night stand over at somebody else's house and they wake you up like early in the morning and say, I have to go do this, you're getting loop, swooped, and pulled.
Oh, absolutely. One of my favorites was I had this one-night stand actually with a chick. This was in Lakewood, and this, again, super long time ago. And woke up in the morning, and she was like, hey, and this is at her place. And she wakes up and she like nudges me awake and she's like, hey. And I'm like, oh, hey. And she's like, do you by chance have any Midol? And I'm like,
Isn't that for cramps?
Uh-huh. And I'm like, I'm not sure what that is. And she's like, it's for like cramps, like PMS. Yeah. And I'm like, strangely, I don't. I'm straight out of cramps medication.
Yeah, I just finished the last one last week. Sorry.
Yeah. And she was like, oh, that sucks. And I'm like, okay, why does it suck? And she's like, because I really need some, but I don't think I'd be comfortable with you here by yourself. And I was like, is this a super creative way to tell me to fucking leave?
Oh, yeah.
By the way, because you could have just said, get out of my fucking house. And I would have just put my clothes on and been like, giving you a fist bump and gone home. But yeah, she was like, do you have cramps medication? I'm like, I don't. And she's like, well, you can't stay here while I go get some. And I was like, so you want me to leave? And she's like, I think that'd be best. I'm like, that's fair.
So let me break this down. Listen, I respect the move.
It was an excellent move. I called her again and she changed her number, I think. It was pretty solid.
I respect the move, but here's the where she fell apart. She knows what Midol's for.
Correct.
It's typically women that are having their cramps during their periods.
Correct. And she knows that I know that she's not on her period.
And she also knows that you're probably not going to be carrying Midol with you all willy-nilly.
100%. How amazing would that have been if I was like, yeah, right here. And
actually, hold on a second.
Boop. I happen to be carrying quite a bit of Midol because this has happened multiple times.
Dude.
Do you want to fuck again?
Listen, if I could, like, get a time machine and go back to myself like in the 20s and be like, listen, anytime you go out, carry fucking Midol and anything that could be an excuse.
Yep.
Just so you could sleep in just a little bit longer and they can't kick you out of the house. Be like, here, I have this. So can I go back to sleep or do you want to bang one more time or what do you want to do?
She's like, do you have Midol? And again, going back in time, you just pull out like a plastic like lunch baggie and just be like, and just have a bunch of different colored pills, and none of them would be roofies. It's just like, hey, what are you having, cramps? Do you have a shoulder problem? Like, is it like nasal congestion? I have shit for all of this stuff. Like,
Mucinex.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, oh, I'm feeling
Tylenol,
a little
Adderall,
tummy ache, and I'm like, oh, I got some Imodium AD right here. You want your shit pushed in to help out with that? Like, we could be super degenerate. That's what we would do with our hot tub time machine. We would just go back and be fucking sexual degenerates with bags of over-the-counter medication for our ladies.
For any need. Yep. But it also could come off as chivalrous.
100%. I'm just bringing out medication in case maybe you need a Midol.
You're like, listen, relax. There's no roofies in here. And then you just have like a little chart and like, here's the color chart. And you hand her the baggie and the color chart and you just roll back over and go back to bed.
Right. But I would still be super.
I'll finish when I'm done.
Yeah, I'd go through my bag and be like, here's a Midol for you, but also I'm going to take a yellow and a purple and just be like, like maybe it's going to make my dick hard. Maybe it's going to make me sleepy. Maybe both. She's like trying to get me out of the house. I'm like, I'm just going to get a huge boner and then pass out for 4 hours. So that's kind of your problem now. Yeah.
Come find me later.
Right.
You know,
oh, wait. I'm sorry. The funniest part was with this chick in Lakewood. We left the bar. We were at like the Winchester, I think, or somewhere around there. And or maybe, what was that place called? The Flying Rib.
Oh, yeah. It's like right next door.
Somewhere right around there. And we stopped off and got Chinese food to go. Took it back to her place. We ate a little bit of Chinese food. We watched a bit of a movie. We fucked. And the next morning, she's giving me this bullshit excuse about how I don't have Midol, so she needs to leave. And I was like, cool, no problem. I'll be right out of here. And she was like, okay, I'm going to go use the restroom, so bye. Like, she was basically saying, like, I'm going to go.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I would appreciate it if you were gone by the time I was back.
Yep.
So I went right in her fridge. I packed up all those fucking leftovers, baby, and I took them home with me. I was like, fuck you. You're not getting this last egg roll, bitch. Like, you're going to hide in the bathroom? That's so fucking weak. I'm taking this egg roll.
If I'm going to be loop, souped, and pulled, I'm taking all the food.
If you were like, listen, I'm really sorry. I have cramps. I'm going to blow you real quick, and then you should go, but I'm not giving you my number. I'd be like, cool. After that, you should have an egg roll and maybe a little lo mein. And I would have left most of that shit. I probably would have eaten a bunch of it and then left the leftovers behind. But yeah, I would have left her an egg roll. I'm not a fucking asshole.
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine
if like when she like is like in like the bathroom waiting for you to leave and then she finally comes downstairs, she's like, damn, I'm so stoked to fucking eat this food.
And then she finds out her entire refrigerator's empty. I just took everything, just bagged it all up, and just fucking dipped. Oh, that's sad for her.
Yeah. I'm sure she's gotten over it by now.
I don't recall her name. I don't recall her face. That's not something I'm used to. I'm not that guy, but yeah, there were times where I had to get in and get out back when I was a piece of shit.
Yeah, I get it. So when you were talking about jerking off on that girl's face while she was sleeping,
yeah, Sarah,
it reminded me of a funny story.
Oh, good. I'm so glad.
Yeah. So you're familiar with the show Blue Mountain State, right?
Of course.
Okay. I don't know if anybody else has ever seen this show. It's called Blue Mountain State.
It's on Prime. I think.
Yeah, I think it's on Prime right now.
So fucking good.
But like when I found it like 10 years ago, it was like on Netflix, and I couldn't stop fucking watching it. It's a comedy show. It's based around like a college football team, but it's not really much about football. It's very minimal on football. It's more like each episode something more ridiculous than the next. But one of my favorite episodes is called Marathon Monday.
Yep.
And it's basically where they wake up at 6 a.m. and they just fucking drink for like 24 hours.
24 straight, yeah.
And when I met Jess, just so happens that Jess is also a huge fan of that show.
Of course she is.
And which is amazing because a lot of people haven't heard of this show.
Yeah.
So we were like discussing our favorite episodes, and I told her Marathon Monday is my favorite episode. And I told her, I go, my most absolutely favorite scene that had me in fucking tears, that I had to like rewind it because I was laughing so hard that I couldn't even like look at the screen because I was like crying, is Sammy is one of the characters, and throughout the day, he's just, when he gets done drinking a bottle, he just like fucking throws it
over
anywhere.
his shoulder. Yeah.
Yep, and it just shatters somewhere. And
he always ends up in fights with people because he like throws a bottle and it ends up at like a jock's table and they're like, fuck you.
Yeah, or like it's like it hit like the cops and they're trying to arrest him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This came out in 2010, by the way. So if you're listening, look this up. It's a fucking great show.
It's a hilarious show. It's very fucking underrated. It's one of those hidden gems that not a lot of people know about.
And if you watch the show Reacher, that's kind of newer on Prime, the guy that's on there, he is one of the lead characters. That's Thad.
Is it Thad?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the guy in Reacher, he was in like the newest, what's it called? Fast and Furious movie.
He was also in Hunger Games too.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
He is a big time actor now, but he is fucking so good.
This
in
was
Blue
like
Mountain State. This is the best he's ever done.
Yeah, this is his beginning, and dude, Thad is probably my favorite character.
He even got his own spin-off movie from it.
Yeah, well, because it was a huge deal, like that character.
Yeah. All right, go on.
So, anyways, so in this episode, as we explained, Sammy's fucking they're drinking all day long. Sammy fucking finishes a bottle, tosses it somewhere, it shatters, he gets into trouble. But there's a scene where he's like in the bar, and he ends up accidentally hitting this guy, and the guy gets up and is like, who the fuck threw that? And then sees Sammy sitting there with this other dude. And I'm going to play the clip so you can hear what it is, and then I'm going to explain to you where this all comes from.
Hell yeah.
So this is the clip here.
Oh, I know this clip.
Which one of you assholes threw that bottle?
Oh, shit. You know what, man? Total accident. Listen, me buy you a beer at the bar.
How about I kick your ass?
How about I jerk you off? Sammy, chill, man.
What did you say to me?
You heard me. I will jerk you off right here.
You probably want to jerk me off.
I do. That's why I said it. Now, why don't you shut the hell up and pull your pants down so I can jerk you off?
Little bar cheating.
Come on, take it out, you pussy.
You're crazy.
Yeah, crazy about jerking you off. I'm ready to fourth grade level. Yeah.
All of you guys are crazy.
Oh my god.
So basically it's
I'm crazy about jerking you off.
Right. So I mean basically he hits the guy shows up and he's like, you fucking throw that? He's like, oh, it's cool, man. I'll just buy you a beer. And then he's like, how about I kick your ass? And then so he's like, how about I jerk you off, right?
Right.
And like there's that whole fucking interaction back and forth, which is fucking hysterical, so funny. And as I mentioned, Jess also loves the show.
Oh god.
We were at a bar one night, and we were both like pretty tipsy, and I was like talking with somebody, And Jess is like bullshitting with like a few people, and then like a bunch of like dudes were like all like in this like group of friends. And as I'm sitting there bullshitting, I hear someone yell, "How about I jerk you off?" And I turn around.
Stop.
And I see Jess standing there with like 3 or 4 like dudes all looking at her going like, "What?" And she's like, "You heard me, pussy. How about I jerk you off?"
It was Jess.
It was Jess.
Oh
and I
God.
go, "Are you kidding me right now?"
Tiny little redheaded Jess. Like,
Yes.
you want to get fucking jerked off right now?
Yeah, Jess is 5'2". These dudes are all like around like 5'10" to like 6'2".
Taller, yeah.
Yeah, and she's like, "You heard me, pussy. How about I fucking jerk you off?" And like Jess is kind of the person, like, if dude's gonna be fucking like sexual towards her, that she's gonna be like, "Get the fuck out of my face before I kick your ass," you know. So, but like she's like that perfect drunk though. I hear that automatically go, "How about I jerk you off?" And it catches my attention.
Of
it's
course.
my favorite scene of
Right.
all 3 seasons and the movie. And I turn around to see fucking Jess with those dudes, and I go, "What is happening?" And I look over, and all the dudes are confused. They're like, "Wait, what?" Because like, how would you react? Like, if you were standing there, maybe flirting with some chick, and then she starts screaming at you, like, "How about I jerk you off, pussy?"
If I had like a foot-long dick, I would pull it out. Like, I'd be that guy, but I don't. So I would just be I would totally fold.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I have no possible response to that because I don't want to be forcibly jerked off by a 5'2" redhead in front of my friends at a bar.
At the bar,
Yeah, I don't want that
in the light
at all. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. At all. If she was like, "You want to go back to my house and I'll jerk you," I'd be like, "Yeah, that sounds dope." But if she was like, "Hey, pull your dick out and I'll fucking jerk it off right here in front of your friends," I'm like, no. I don't want that.
Yeah, it was so good because as I'm like, I turn around and go, "Oh no, I have
such
to.
a great
I
flex.
have to go shut this down."
Right.
And as I start getting closer, I can see all the dudes very confused and looking at each other, going, "Wait, what? Like, is this chick fucking serious right now?" And she's like, "What? You gonna be a fucking bitch about it? Pull your fucking dick out, bitch. I'll fucking jerk you off right now."
She fucking tripled down. I love it.
Oh my God, yeah. What a fucking hard ass. And then so I fucking go over and I grab her and I go, "Hey, let me pull you over the side over here." And I go, "Hey, gents,
we're just gonna take a powder for a second.
Yeah, I go, "Listen, the jerking off thing's not gonna happen unless you guys are doing it amongst yourselves. You guys can fuck off. I'm gonna pull her aside. Thank you very much."
That is amazing.
And I pull Jess aside and I go, "What are you doing?" And she's like,
What are you doing? You're like Chris Hansen. What are you doing?
Yeah, "What are you doing here?"
Brought her over a fucking cookie. What are you doing?
She goes between the chocolate chip and the oatmeal raisin.
Yeah. If she took a chocolate chip, you should have put a ring on her finger right fucking then. That's a fucking keeper.
But I pull her aside and go, "Jess," I go, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "These fucking guys, I'm just trying to hang out and then just like have a fun like conversation." And then all like, of course, I'm like, dudes have to be fucking assholes and be like gross pigs and fucking like saying dirty shit because I'm like just like some like short chick.
Tiny little redhead, yeah.
Right. She's like, "So I got mad and I just got fucking triggered into fucking Blue Mountain State and started yelling that I jerked you off." And I go,
"Bro,
listen, I'm very proud of you.
And in love with you.
And in love with you so much.
So
and
much.
I love that you are the way that you are. I love that you're like, some dude's going to be a fucking like, try to be a scumbag on me. Like, I'm going to tell him to fuck off. I fucking absolutely adore that about her.
Yeah.
But, babe.
Yeah.
You can't yell, "I'm going to jerk you off."
Across the whole bar. No.
Because that's exactly what they want. They want you to jerk them off.
Somebody does.
All of them.
Probably not the big bros that are putting on all of the facade of being, fucking sweet bros, but there's some fucking weirdo in the bar who's going to walk over and be like, "I'll take a jerk off." And then it's like, well, check. It's not checkmate, but it's like, are you going to jerk off that fucking weirdo? Probably not.
It was more.
Someone calls your bluff, you're a little fucked.
Yo, yeah. It's one of those things that, like, from stories I've heard, people that have children, and when their children say something like a swear word or something they're not supposed to, and it's like, you're supposed to like not laugh while you're trying to tell them not to do that again.
Sure.
That's kind of where our situation was.
Right.
I was happy and proud and so stoked because it's my favorite scene of all of the fucking shows.
Yeah.
That I'm trying not to laugh, telling her not to yell,
Sure.
"I'm going to jerk you off." to a bunch of dudes.
Like if it was Jess's best female friend that was doing that, you'd be like, Jess, we love this chick now, and she is in our inner social circle.
100%.
But you're like, but babe, I love you sexually, and you cannot scream that across a fucking bar. Like, you want to get fucking jerked off? Yeah, you can't do that.
I mean, it's just like, obviously the funny part is that she's yelling it to be as like a diss, like, fuck you, bitch. Right. I'll fucking jerk you off. And then they just don't know what to do. I mean, it's kind of a boss move overall, because it put them all into shock, going like, wait, what? Like, I've never had a girl just tell me that she's going to jerk me off like right here and wants me to pull on my dick. That's never happened to me before. So it's actually a dope move. But at the same time, when you want to get jerked off, most heterosexual males are going to be looking for it from a female.
Yeah.
Right? So they're like, well, hold on. I do want this, but I'm not going to put my dick out right here.
Yeah, but it's perfect because when you take that group of all alpha males, it makes them decide who's the alpha of the alphas.
Yep.
Because it's the first one who pulls his dick out and says, I'll take that hand job. Everyone's going to be like, oh. Like,
except for if none of them pull their dicks out, then Jess becomes alpha.
Then they're all betas, and then Jess is like, fuck you. So real quick, for Jess, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
That is a fucking killer move. Tiny little beautiful redhead. You want to get fucking jerked off? I'll jerk you all off. Oh my god, amazing. So fucking good.
Jess was alpha of the bar, at least in that little area where they're all standing.
I love it. When I hit the lottery and get a bunch of money, we're gonna open a bar called Alpha Beta, and we're gonna have a bunch of this type of shit going on. I love it. But we are at time.
Man, always goes by so quick.
Fast. But man, we covered a lot of good shit.
I feel like we did too. And there's some fun stories.
I think we came up with some great stuff to talk about otherwise. But yeah, that is fucking great. So if anybody has a great story, don't forget that we have a phone number. You can call in, leave us a voicemail, tell us a great story, or just tell us you want to tell a story, leave a phone number. We'll call you back, and we'll put you on air if you want to tell us a great story about how you love getting jizz done, or one night stand type shit, or whatever. But yeah, take advantage of that fucking phone number and reach out to the Pizza and the Bagel.
I mean, honestly, if you have any funny or crazy story, we'll still love to talk about it.
For sure. So phone us in. You got the number?
We'll call you live. Yeah, we'll call you live. 440-363-0121.
0121, baby.
Yep. I mean, we'll do it live. If you just want to leave a fucking voicemail.
Yeah, we'll play the voicemail. We'll have you on. We'll do whatever. But yeah, lean into it. Let us know. Tell us your craziest stories about exes or sex stuff, or fucking when you yelled out that you would jerk off everybody at the bar. If you got that story, which I bet none of you beta chicks do.
Yeah.
I think Jess might have just assumed, the fucking throne is alpha female, man.
She's fucking alpha female.
That's amazing. Good for her, and good for you, Pizza.
Yeah, thank
fucking
you.
Locking down Alpha 1. That's fucking amazing.
More lucky than anything else.
Fucking A right you are. All right. I think that'll do her.
Okay. I guess that's it then, huh?
We'll see you next week.
All right.
We love you all so much. Thanks again for listening. And yeah, we'll be back around. Shoot us a text, leave us a voicemail, and we'll talk soon.
Listen again, 440-363-0121. All right. See you guys.
Holla.